So, in what should be an absolute shock to, well, nobody, a Nintendo Switch 2 system has indeed leaked out into the wild. We talked on the channel earlier this week about Target basically having them locked up in cages. Despite all their rage, they're just a Switch 2 in a locked cage. I like the Smashing Pumpkins, but it was kind of a weird thing, and many people thought, well, if Target's getting it, then other retailers are getting it. If other retailers get it, somebody's going to get their hands on this system early. Now, of course, your boy is trying to get their hands on this system early, but this is just for educational purposes. I don't want you to commit crimes or anything like that. Unless, you want to. It's none of my business. But on a serious note, there is a Switch 2 out in the wild. There's an unboxing of the system as well. And, well, there's some interesting things I want to discuss with you guys about this system. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I would sincerely appreciate it. So this is coming to us from a video that appeared on YouTube. Jake Randall kind of summarized what's going on here. And you can see here, this is a Nintendo Switch 2 system. Now, the Joy-Cons look pretty large. You see the blue and sort of orange things. Very New York Knicks-esque colors right there. I'm filming this video before the Knicks game, so you don't have to have my emotional anguish if needed. But you could see here that this clearly is the system. It's a pretty large system, but, the box is pretty much what we've seen from Nintendo's events and stuff like that. And somebody got their hands on a Switch 2 and is making the very intelligent decision to share unboxing videos on YouTube. And you could see here, this is the channel A2 Dubai. So shout outs to my Dubai brothers. Hope y'all are doing well. And this is where things get weird. Nintendo locked the Switch 2. It needs to update to function, so I'm waiting for June 5th to unlock it. Here is another image of the Nintendo Switch 2 in this individual's home. Nice, looks like marble flooring. We got some doilies on the table. A very nice setup here. But this is where things get very interesting for me. The fact that the system is locked until June 5th via a patch. And this is something that we talked about a couple of days ago on the channel, and it's something that we've been kind of hearing, that there is this large day one patch for the Nintendo Switch 2, and now it seems like the launch systems won't work without this patch being activated on June 5th. So immediately people were like, oh, this is a good thing, this is blah blah blah, and I'm kind of like, what's good about it? Like, I don't look at this just from my perspective. I look at this from the perspective of everyone. And I think having a system that needs a day one patch in order for it to just function, to play a game, like this individual essentially has a $500 brick right now in their house. They can't really do anything with it. I mean, I can make it work. You do a full unboxing video, you do a battery test of it, you make it work, buddy. You stretch it out. But I understand you're probably just a more casual YouTube connoisseur. But I find it very strange that people are celebrating this. And I've seen people say, well, it's good. This way we avoid leaks and stuff like that of information getting out there about the system. Everybody gets it all at once. And I guess, that's kind of a nice kumbaya thing. But let's look at it from some other perspectives. And maybe you'll kind of understand why I don't really understand why this is something to be celebrated. First and foremost, there are going to be some review units that go out to various websites. And I wonder, are those review units going to have the patch already downloaded onto the system? Because, if not, then there's literally going to be no coverage of this system until the day it releases, which I don't mind that from my personal perspective because, screw other websites and stuff like that. However, there is a benefit, at least to some degree, of people being able to do coverage on the system and, of course, the games before they come out, because we have quite a laundry list of Switch 2 games that are going to be available on day one, many of those being third-party offerings. And without people at least getting some impressions of it, without people being able to, review these games, how are you going to know the quality of the port on the game to see if it's worth your money? Like, I get it. People have distrust of video game websites, and I'm one of those people too. But if there's absolutely no coverage of the games, are you just going to buy the games and hope for the best? And then if the games aren't good, you're just going to be upset? Like, who should you be upset with? You know, we always talk about things like review embargoes and stuff like that. And the closer to a launch of a product that a review embargo is up, meaning that websites, YouTubers, and all sorts of stuff can put up their coverage for it, usually the closer it is to the launch of the game, the more skeptical people get about the overall quality of the game. Sometimes it is smart to be skeptical. Sometimes we've seen games that there's no reason to be skeptical. But I do like a little bit of a lead up time to let people know if something is a quality game or if it's not. The other side of the coin is, of course, okay, so this first batch of systems has to have an online connection in order just to function. So if somebody buys it who doesn't have access to online, you know, willy-nilly, like, and this is a large patch, how are they supposed to play their system? I could see if we were talking about using online functionality or something like that, then yes, a patch makes sort of perfect sense. Or if you wanted to play a game online, you had to update the system with a patch in order to access the online features of the system. But we're talking about accessing the system point blank. The same sort of thing that when the Xbox One was unveiled, that you had to download this patch and you couldn't just play single player games on your Xbox One when it first came out, that people were kind of upset about. If you're talking about online stuff, once again, I do understand it. But if we're just talking about single player games, like, why? Why does it need an online connection? What is within this patch that is allegedly a big patch that needs to be done on day one for the system? I'm not saying that the system's in trouble or there's something negative about the system, but I do just find the whole timing of this situation to be very interesting. And then we have the third thing that I want to mention, and that is the preservation aspect. Let's be realistic. The Wii U and the 3DS eShops are closed. What if you were to buy one of these brand new in 20 years or something like that, and the Switch 2 servers were no longer active? So maybe you wanted to bust it out of the box and play it, and now you kind of can't. You might say, well, who's that going to impact, RGT? People don't do that. I mean, people do that. I have done unboxings of new systems on this channel before, of new retro systems, and, you know, it's nice. It's kind of a cool thing and a fun thing to do. I did it with that N64 back there that I don't know if you can see it or not, but that was a brand new system. And, you know, I just didn't have to worry about it being contingent on an online connection. Now, that is a situation where it's something that you'll cross that bridge when you get to it or something like that. But I don't really understand the celebration. I don't do it. I don't understand. Like, even if you hate, like, video game websites and most journalists, and let's be real. Let's be real. Who dislikes a lot of journalists more than me? Like, there's not many people that have had negative, you know, interactions with a lot of these journalists, that these journalists don't like the person. So I'm definitely not sticking up for them. I'm just saying it's a very peculiar situation to sort of celebrate this sort of thing. And with the lack of, you know, game reviews that are going to be available for this system when it comes out, and all of these third-party games that are coming out for the system, you're just going to kind of have to, I guess, trust your gut or something like that. Like, hope that the trailer looked good enough for you. And, like, I don't know. It's very strange to me. And I don't think it's something worth celebrating necessarily, because it just seems odd. So this was a Nintendo Switch 2 unboxing gone terrible. And now this individual can't do anything until June 5th. And I guess nobody will be able to do anything until June 5th unless Nintendo is sending out review units to individuals that are already pre-patched or something like that. I don't know. This is a very peculiar situation to me. It's something I don't recall ever seeing before, and I'm not quite sure the logistics and the reasoning kind of behind it, unless there's just some wacky, crazy Switch 2 feature that Nintendo did not mention whatsoever, and then, you know, it's just going to blow people's minds or something like that, which I don't think that's the case, you know, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everyone just doesn't know about this feature and Nintendo's including it as the ultimate surprise. And I mean, that would be kind of cool, but then people are still going to figure it out on June 5th. But, you know, I guess they got to wait a little bit longer. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this in the comments section down below. Do you celebrate this? If you do, I mean, that's cool, man. You do you. You know, I'm not gonna tell you how to feel about something. I'm just gonna tell you how I envision it and how I sort of view it. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.